I cheated on my husband and divorced him while mocking him. I enjoyed my single life, but when I went broke and tried to find him, I discovered he was already married with children. He treated me coldly. I signed my name on the divorce papers with a flourish that would have made my high school English teacher proud. Clean, confident strokes. Gregory sat across the conference table, staring at his hands like they held answers. They didn't. They never did. His lawyer, some guy in a cheap suit who kept calling me Mrs. Patterson even though I'd already checked out of that title months ago, slid the papers toward Gregory. He picked up the pen. Set it down. Picked it up again. Are you sure about this? His voice cracked on the word sure. I almost laughed then. Almost. Instead, I leaned back in the chair, crossed my legs, and said, I've never been more sure of anything in my life. That was 6 years of marriage, summarized in one sentence. Brutal? Maybe. But I was done pretending. Done playing the role of the dutiful wife who smiled through dinner parties and laughed at his coworkers' terrible jokes. Done sleeping next to someone who made me feel like I was suffocating in beige paint and routine. Gregory was a civil engineer. Steady job, steady paycheck, steady everything. He came home every night at 6:15 p.m., asked about my day, remembered our anniversary, took out the trash without being asked. On paper, he was perfect. In reality, he was a sedative in human form. I met Owen 8 months before that conference room. At the gym, during a spin class I'd started taking to escape the house. He was the instructor, all lean muscle and confidence, with this way of looking at you like you were the only person in the room. After class, he asked if I wanted tips on my form. I said yes. 3 weeks later, we were in a hotel room downtown. I won't pretend I felt guilty. I didn't. I felt alive. Owen texted me at random hours, made me laugh, pulled me into bathroom stalls at bars just because he could. Gregory texted me reminders to pick up milk. The contrast was almost comical. The affair wasn't careful. I didn't want it to be. Part of me wanted Gregory to find out, to feel something other than his maddening calm. And eventually, he did. Found texts on my phone while I was in the shower. I'd left it on the counter, unlocked. Subconsciously? Maybe. Or maybe I was just careless because I didn't care. When I came out, towel wrapped around me, he was sitting on the bed with my phone in his hands. His face was blank. Who's Owen? I could have lied. Could have said he was a trainer, that the messages were taken out of context. But I was tired of lying. Tired of him. Someone who makes me feel like a person instead of a placeholder. That landed. I watched something break behind his eyes, not dramatic, not loud. Just this quiet collapse, like a building imploding in slow motion. Was I really that bad? He asked. I told him the truth. You were boring. Predictable. Safe. I needed more than what you could give me. He didn't yell. Didn't throw anything. He just nodded, said okay, and slept on the couch that night. 2 weeks later, his lawyer called mine. Now here we were, dividing 6 years into neat legal columns. The house would be sold, equity split. The savings account, mostly his earnings because I'd quit my accounting job a year into the marriage, thinking I'd freelance, I didn't, divided down the middle. I was walking away with money I didn't earn, from a man I destroyed. Was I really that bad? Gregory asked again, pen hovering over the signature line. This time, I did laugh. Not a chuckle, a full, genuine laugh that echoed in that sterile conference room. You weren't bad, Gregory. You were just too boring to keep a woman like me. His lawyer's eyebrows shot up. My lawyer coughed. Gregory's face went pale, then red, then pale again. He signed his name without another word. I stood, grabbed my purse, a designer bag Owen had bought me with money I'd later realize he borrowed from someone else, and walked out. The hallway smelled like industrial cleaner and desperation. I didn't look back. Outside, the sun was obnoxious in its brightness. I pulled out my phone, dialed Owen. Hey babe, he answered, music thumping in the background. How'd it go? I'm free. Hell yeah. I'm picking you up. We're celebrating. 20 minutes later, his Jeep pulled up to the curb. Owen was wearing aviators and that grin that made my stomach flip. I climbed in. He leaned over, kissed me hard, tasting like energy drinks and bad decisions. To freedom, he said, pulling into traffic. I rolled down the window, let the wind whip my hair into chaos, and smiled. I'd won. The first 3 months felt like I'd broken out of prison. Owen's apartment was a third-floor walk-up with questionable plumbing and a landlord who never fixed anything. But it had a balcony and a view of the city that looked better at night when you couldn't see the grime. We threw parties most weekends, his gym friends, random people from dating apps who brought bottles and left cigarette burns on the furniture. I posted Instagram stories with captions like living my truth and no regrets. People I barely knew hit the like button. I felt seen. I quit my job 2 weeks after the divorce finalized. I've been a junior accountant at a mid-sized firm, data entry, expense reports, the kind of work that makes you forget you have a soul. When I told my boss I was leaving, she didn't even try to talk me out of it. Just asked me to train my replacement and wished me luck. I walked out of that office building feeling like I'd shed a skin. Owen said I should take time to find myself. I agreed. I had the divorce settlement money in my account, $53,000 after legal fees. Enough to coast for a while, figure out my next move. Maybe I'd freelance again. Maybe I'd travel. The world felt wide open. But cracks show up fast when you're not looking for them. Owen's income was less stable personal trainer with wealthy clients and more hustler who sometimes got paid. His rent was month to month because he'd been evicted twice before. He laughed when he told me that story, like it was charming. Clients canceled constantly. 1 week he'd have 4 sessions booked, the next week 0. Paychecks from the gym bounced twice in July alone. Can you spot me for rent this month? He asked in early August, lying in bed scrolling through his phone. Just until Mrs. Camilla pays me. She's good for it. I Venmo'd him $800. Mrs. Camilla never paid him. Or if she did, the money went somewhere else. By September, I was covering most of the bills. Rent, groceries, his car payment, a Jeep he was underwater on because he'd rolled negative equity from his last car into the loan. He'd shrug and say, "I'll get you back," but he never did. I told myself it was temporary. That he was going through a rough patch. That relationships were about supporting each other. But I was starting to notice things Gregory used to handle that I'd never thought about. Budgeting, utilities, making sure there was always toilet paper and coffee and food that wasn't ramen. Gregory had managed our finances so seamlessly I didn't realize how much I'd been coasting. Now I was hemorrhaging money and didn't know how to stop it. I started applying for jobs in October. Turns out a 2-year employment gap and freelance consultant on your resume doesn't impress anyone. I got exactly 3 interviews. One place ghosted me. Another told me I was overqualified for an entry-level position and underqualified for anything senior. The 3rd interview went fine until the hiring manager Googled me during our conversation. I watched his face change as he scrolled, probably finding the public Facebook rants I'd posted during the divorce about mediocre men and settling for less, and suddenly he had other candidates to consider. My savings account dipped below $20,000 in November. Owen started coming home later. Or not at all. Crashed at a friend's, he'd text at 3 a.m. When he was home, he was glued to his phone, grinning at the screen in a way that made my stomach twist. I caught him on Tinder one night in early December. He was sitting on the couch, didn't even bother hiding it. I saw the girl's profile over his shoulder, blonde, young, smiling in a bikini. "Are you serious right now?" He locked his phone, shrugged. "We never said we were exclusive. I left my marriage for you." "No," he said, standing up and grabbing his keys. "You left your marriage because you were unhappy. Don't put that on me." He walked out. Came back 3 hours later like nothing happened. I didn't bring it up again. The friends I'd had during my marriage stopped answering my texts. I burned those bridges when I posted snarky comments about fake friends who judge your choices and people who stay in dead relationships out of fear. Turns out, calling people cowards for not cheering on your affair doesn't endear you to them. My single friends were tired of hearing me complain. One of them, Becca, told me point blank over drinks, "You made your choice. Own it or change it, but stop whining." I stopped calling her. By January, I was working temp jobs. Receptionist at a dentist's office for 2 weeks. Data entry at a warehouse for another 3. Nothing stuck. My car got repossessed in February. I'd missed 3 payments and didn't have the money to catch up. Owen didn't offer to help. March came. I woke up one morning to find Owen packing a duffel bag. "What are you doing?" "I need space," he said, not looking at me. "You're too intense. I thought you'd be more fun without all the guilt." "Guilt? I don't feel guilty." "Exactly." He zipped the bag. "That's the problem." He left. Didn't say where he was going. I found out 2 weeks later through Instagram, he'd moved in with another woman. Someone with a downtown condo and a job title that included the word executive. I blocked him. Then unblocked him. Then blocked him again. I moved into a studio apartment in April. Water-stained ceiling, shared bathroom down the hall, the smell of mildew that never quite left. The deposit wiped out the last of my settlement money. The months blurred. Temp agencies. Unemployment paperwork. Ramen for dinner. Library trips because I couldn't afford streaming services. And then it was my birthday, 34 years old. I woke up and checked my phone. No texts. No calls. No notifications except a spam email about refinancing student loans I didn't have. I ordered Chinese takeout, orange chicken and fried rice, $12.41 including delivery. Ate it sitting on the floor because I didn't have a table yet. The apartment was silent except for the couple fighting upstairs and the hum of the refrigerator that barely kept anything cold. I thought about texting Gregory. Just something casual. Hey, remember when you used to make me breakfast on my birthday? But I didn't. What would be the point? Instead, I cried. Not the pretty kind of crying, the ugly, snotty, gasping kind where you can't catch your breath. I cried until my eyes swelled shut and my head pounded and the takeout got cold. I fell asleep on the floor, still in my work clothes, the empty takeout container next to me. When I woke up the next morning, everything hurt, and I had 3 more years of this ahead of me. I got a job at a call center 6 weeks after my birthday, Telecom Pro Solutions. Inbound customer service for a third-tier phone company nobody had heard of. The interview lasted 12 minutes. The hiring manager, a woman named Phyllis with lipstick on her teeth, asked if I could handle angry people and operate basic computer systems. I said yes to both. She hired me on the spot. $11 an hour, no benefits until 6 months in. The training was 2 days. They gave us scripts for every scenario. Billing disputes, technical issues, cancellations. I understand your frustration, Mr. Johnson. Let me see what I can do for you. Repeat 40 times a day, 5 days a week. Sometimes 6 when they needed weekend coverage. I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment in August. The neighborhood had bars on windows and a gas station where the cashier sat behind bulletproof glass. Rent was $650 a month. The walls were thin enough that I could hear my neighbor's television through the drywall and someone else's baby crying at all hours. But it was mine. Sort of. I tried dating again that fall, downloaded apps. Swiped through men who looked decent in photos and disappointing in person. Went on 11 first dates over 3 months. 2 of them ghosted before the check came, 1 literally got up to use the bathroom and never came back. 3 others made it to a second date before fizzling out. 1 guy seemed promising until he Googled me mid-conversation and his face changed. He put cash on the table for his half of the meal and left without explanation. I went home and searched my own name. Found the Facebook posts I thought I'd deleted, screenshots someone had saved and shared. My rants about Gregory, about men who think showing up is enough, about settling for mediocrity. All public. All timestamped from the months after I'd left him. I deleted everything. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Scrubbed myself from the internet as much as I could. But screenshots live forever. By year 3, I'd stopped trying. My mom called in December to tell me they wouldn't be sending money anymore. I'd asked 4 times that year, $200 here, $300 there, always promising to pay them back. I never did. You made your bed, she said. We love you, but we can't keep enabling this. Enabling what? I'm trying to survive. You chose this path. We told you not to leave Gregory. We told you that boy was no good, Owen, whatever his name was. You didn't listen. Now you need to figure it out on your own. She hung up. Dad texted me later, your mother is right. Call us when you have good news to share. I didn't call them on Christmas. Worked a double shift instead, holiday pay was time and a half. Spent the evening in a cubicle listening to people scream about their phone bills while eating vending machine cookies for dinner. I gained 30 pounds that year. Cheap food, stress, no time or money for the gym. I caught my reflection in a store window one day in February and didn't recognize myself immediately. Heavier, older, the kind of tired that settles into your face and doesn't leave. I was 36 and looked 45. A month later, I ran into Becca at the grocery store. She was my age but looked 10 years younger, put together, glowing, pushing a cart full of organic produce and wine that cost more than my weekly grocery budget. She squinted at me. Oh my God. Is that you? Yeah. Hi. Wow. You look. She stopped herself. How are you? Fine. Working. You know, that's great. Too enthusiastic. She glanced at her watch. I'd love to catch up sometime, but I'm actually running late for a thing. But we should totally get coffee. She wouldn't. We both knew it. She gave me an awkward side hug and pushed her cart away. I stood there holding a box of store-brand pasta and a jar of sauce on sale for $1.99. Year 4, I got promoted, senior customer service representative. Same job, same cubicle, 50 cents more an hour. Phyllis called it a recognition of my dedication. I called it barely keeping up with inflation. But I did one smart thing that year, started therapy, found a clinic that did sliding scale fees, $20 a session based on my income. The therapist was younger than me, fresh out of grad school probably, but she listened without judgment. What do you think you're grieving? She asked during our 3rd session. I'm not grieving anything. You cry every time you talk about your ex-husband. That's different. How? I didn't have an answer. So I went home and thought about it. What was I grieving? Not Gregory, exactly. I didn't miss him. How could I miss someone I'd barely tolerated? But I missed something. Security maybe. Or the option to have chosen differently. The life I could have had if I'd just been a different person. That night, I couldn't sleep. Got up at 2 a.m. and opened my laptop, the same one from my marriage, processor slow as hell now but still functional. I had files backed up on an external hard drive. Photos I couldn't delete but never looked at. I opened the folder. Wedding photos. Gregory in his suit, smiling at me like I'd invented happiness. Honeymoon pictures, beach, sunset, his arm around my waist. Christmas morning, first year of marriage. His face when I gave him the watch he'd been wanting. So much hope in his eyes. So much love I didn't deserve and hadn't wanted. I started crying. Not for him. For her. The woman in those photos who had everything and lit it on fire because she was bored. My laptop sat open on the coffee table, photos still on the screen. My phone was next to it. I picked it up. Unlocked it. Opened Instagram. I'd created a new account 2 months ago, no posts, just lurking. My hands shook as I typed his name into the search bar. Gregory Patterson. 3 profiles popped up. The third one had his face as the profile picture. Older, but definitely him. Public account. I clicked. The profile loaded, and my heart stopped. The first photo was a wedding picture. Gregory in a navy suit, standing next to a woman in a simple white dress. She was beautiful in that effortless way, dark hair, warm smile, the kind of face that looked genuinely happy instead of Instagram happy. Her hand rested on his chest. His arm wrapped around her waist. They were looking at each other like they'd just discovered gravity. The caption, 2 years ago today, I married my best friend. Every day with you is a gift, Iris. Posted 8 months ago. I scrolled. More wedding photos. Iris laughing. Gregory kissing her forehead. Their families crowded around them. Comments, you two are perfect together. Finally, a couple that restores my faith in love. Greg, you deserve this, man. My thumb kept moving. A pregnancy announcement from a year and a half ago. Gregory's hand on Iris's belly, both of them grinning. We're having twins. Boys. I can't believe I get to be a dad. Hashtag blessed, hashtag twin boys, hashtag grateful. I felt something crack in my chest. Birth photos. Gregory holding 2 tiny babies, one in each arm, his face exhausted but glowing with something I'd never seen on him during our marriage. Pure joy. Uncomplicated, unguarded joy. Welcome to the world, Henry and Thomas. Born at 6:55 and 6:51 a.m. 6 pounds 3 ounces and 6 pounds 5 ounces. My heart is so full. I kept scrolling, even though every image felt like swallowing glass. The twins at 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Learning to crawl. First birthdays with smashed cake everywhere. Gregory teaching them to walk, holding their tiny hands. Halloween costumes, they dressed as lions. Christmas morning, wrapping paper chaos. Recent posts, the boys were 18 months now. Gregory reading them bedtime stories, doing different voices. Iris filming, her laughter in the background. Best daddy in the world, she'd captioned it. A photo from 2 weeks ago, their house. Small, but nice. Yard with a swing set. Finally homeowners. It's not much, but it's ours. Excited to build memories here with my family. Another post, promotion day. Senior project manager. Couldn't have done it without this woman supporting me every step. Love you, Iris. I clicked on Iris's profile. Also public, middle school science teacher. Photos of her classroom, her students' projects, thoughtful captions about education and patience. Pictures of Gregory and the boys, zoo trips, camping, lazy Sunday mornings. A video of all 4 of them at a park, Gregory pushing both twins on swings while Iris laughed. Every comment was genuine. No performative BS. Just real people living a real life. The life I could have had. Gregory had wanted kids so badly during our marriage. Brought it up constantly that 3rd year. Maybe we could start trying? He'd say, hopeful. I'd brush him off. Maybe someday. Someday never meant yes. It meant shut up and stop asking. Now he had 2 sons. His sons. And a wife who looked at him like he was the center of her universe. I should have closed the app. Should have deleted my account right then. Instead, I spiraled. For 3 weeks, I couldn't stop looking. Created burner accounts so I could watch their stories without them knowing. Saw their daily life unfold in 15-second clips, Gregory making pancakes with the boys, Iris reading them books, family movie nights, trips to the children's museum. They were happy. Not Instagram filter happy. Actually, deeply, genuinely happy. I'd thrown this away for Owen. For 8 months of cheap hotel rooms and borrowed money and a man who ghosted me the second I stopped being useful. Gregory had wanted to build this life with me. And I'd laughed in his face. One night, 3.5 weeks into my obsessive stalking, I bought a bottle of wine. Cheap stuff, $6.99 from the corner store. Drank half of it sitting on my apartment floor, laptop open, scrolling through photos of Gregory's life, the twins learning to say dada. Gregory's face when he heard it, Iris posting about their 5-year anniversary. I found my person. My partner. My best friend. I love you more every day. The wine hit harder on an empty stomach. Everything blurred, the photos, my thoughts, the years between then and now. I picked up my phone, opened Instagram, found Gregory's profile again, hit message. My fingers moved before my brain caught up. Hi. I know this is out of nowhere. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. For everything. I don't expect anything. I just needed you to know. Sent. I stared at the screen for 5 minutes. 10. 15. Then I finished the bottle and passed out on the couch, phone clutched in my hand. I woke up the next morning to sunlight burning through my cheap curtains and a headache that felt like my skull was splitting. My mouth tasted like regret and fermented grapes. I rolled over. My phone was on the floor where I dropped it. I picked it up, unlocked it. Instagram was still open. There was a notification, a reply, from Gregory. My heart stopped. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped the phone. I clicked. The message loaded. I appreciate the apology. I'm willing to meet if you think it'll help you move forward. There's a cafe called Brewed Awakenings on 5th. Saturday at 2 p.m.? I read it 3 times, then 5, then 10. He was willing to meet me, face to face. Saturday was 4 days away. I didn't know if I could handle seeing him. I didn't know if I could handle not seeing him. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. Finally, I typed, I'll be there. Sent. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then disappeared. Then reappeared. See you then. I set the phone down and started crying. I tried on 7 different outfits Saturday morning. Everything looked wrong. Too casual, too desperate, too much like I was trying. I settled on a Target blouse I'd bought on clearance, navy blue, no stains, and jeans I'd safety pinned where the seam had split near the pocket. My nicest shoes were work flats with the soles starting to separate. I hoped he wouldn't notice. I got to Brewed Awakenings at 1:45. 15 minutes early. The cafe was one of those hipster places with exposed brick and furniture that didn't match. I ordered black coffee because it was the cheapest thing on the menu. $3.50. I counted out exact change. Found a table in the corner. Sat down. Stood up. Sat back down. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. At 2 p.m. exactly, the door opened. Gregory walked in. He looked good. Better than good. He'd filled out, not fat, just healthy. Like someone who ate regular meals and slept through the night. His hair was shorter, graying at the temples. He wore a simple button-down and jeans that actually fit. There was a confidence in the way he moved that hadn't been there before, and a wedding ring on his left hand. He saw me. Nodded. Walked to the counter and ordered something complicated, a latte with oat milk and an extra shot. Paid with his card without checking the price. Then he sat down across from me. Hi, he said. Hi. Silence. He took a sip of his drink. I wrapped my hands around my coffee cup to keep them from trembling. Thank you for coming, I said finally. I wasn't sure you would. You apologized. That's not nothing. His voice was calm. Neutral. Like we were coworkers discussing a project. I figured you deserved to be heard. I nodded. Took a breath. I'm sorry. The words came out rushed. For everything. For cheating. For mocking you. For making you feel worthless when you are. My voice cracked. You were a good husband. You loved me. And I treated you like garbage because I was too selfish and stupid to see what I had. He listened. Didn't interrupt. Just watched me with those steady eyes I used to find so boring. I threw away something real for someone who didn't give a crap about me. And I know it's too late and I know you've moved on and I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know that I was wrong. About everything. About you. I stopped. Wiped my eyes with a napkin. Waited. Gregory took another sip of his latte. I forgive you, he said. Relief flooded through me. I forgave you 3 years ago. And then drained right back out. Not for you, he continued. For me. Staying angry was destroying me. Iris helped me see that I deserved better than carrying that around. Iris. Her name felt like a knife. I went to therapy, he said. Spent 2 years unpacking what happened. Why I ignored the signs. Why I tolerated being treated like a placeholder in my own marriage. I blamed myself for a long time. Thought if I'd been more exciting, more spontaneous, more whatever, you wouldn't have strayed. It wasn't. Let me finish. Not harsh, but firm. Eventually I realized it wasn't about me. It was about you. Your choices. Your values. And I couldn't fix that. Couldn't love you into being a different person. He leaned back. I met Iris at a friend's barbecue about a year after the divorce. She was kind. Present. She didn't play games or keep score. She just showed up. Every day. Even when it was boring. Especially when it was boring. Something in his voice when he said her name made my chest ache. We got married 2 years ago. The twins came 10 months later. Henry and Thomas. They're 18 months now. Handful and a half, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. He smiled, genuinely smiled, and I saw a version of him I'd never seen during our marriage. Content. Fulfilled. I got the promotion I'd been working toward. We bought a house last month. Nothing fancy, but it's ours. I coach the twins' little league when they're old enough. Iris teaches middle school science. We have game nights with her family. It's boring? I said, trying for a joke. Perfect, he corrected. It's exactly what I wanted when I was with you. Just not with you. That landed. Do you ever think about me? My voice came out small. About what we had? Gregory set down his cup. Looked at me directly. Sometimes. The way you think about a bad car accident you survived. I'm grateful for the lessons. They made me appreciate what I have now, but I don't miss the wreckage. He paused. I don't miss you. Each word was a nail. He stood. Put on his jacket. I hope you find peace. I really do. But I can't be part of your healing. I have a wife who loves me. 2 sons who need me. A life I've built from nothing. He picked up his cup. You're not in it. You can't be. He pulled out his wallet. Left a 20 on the table. For both coffees. Then he walked to the door. I sat frozen, watching through the window as he crossed the parking lot. A minivan was parked near the curb. A minivan. Gregory, who used to drive a practical sedan, now drove a family car. He opened the driver's door, and I saw her. Iris was in the passenger seat. She looked up as he got in, smiled at him. Leaned over and kissed him. Just a quick peck, nothing dramatic. But the intimacy of it, the easy affection, shattered something inside me. The twins were in car seats in the back. I could see their little hands waving. Gregory pulled out of the parking spot. The minivan drove away, and I sat there, tears streaming down my face in a cafe full of strangers, staring at the empty space where the life I could have had used to be. 18 months later, I'm 38 now. Still at Telcom Pro Solutions. 5 years and counting. They gave me a cube near the window last year, a promotion that came with no pay increase, just a better view of the parking lot. My routine doesn't change much. Wake up at 6:30. Shower. Microwave oatmeal. Drive to work in the used Honda I bought with a subprime loan at 18% interest. Clock in at 8:45. Put on my headset. Thank you for calling Telcom Pro Solutions. This is speaking. How can I help you today? 40 calls a day. Angry people who can't understand their bills. Technical issues I can't fix. Cancellations I'm supposed to prevent with scripted retention offers that never work. Lunch is whatever I packed the night before. Usually a sandwich. Sometimes leftover rice and beans. Clock out at 5:15. Drive home. Microwave dinner. Watch whatever free streaming service still has content I haven't seen. Sleep. Repeat. Weekends are laundry at the laundromat 2 blocks away and grocery shopping at the discount market where everything's close to expiring. I go to the library sometimes. Free entertainment. Free air conditioning in summer. I check out books I never finish. I still see my therapist. Dr. Ramos. Every other week now instead of weekly, budget reasons. We don't talk about Gregory much anymore. We talk about me. About why I equated excitement with love. Why stability felt like suffocation. Why I needed constant validation from men who didn't respect me. You were looking for someone to make you feel worthy, Dr. Ramos said a few months ago. But you can't outsource your self-worth. She's right. I know she's right. But knowing doesn't make it hurt less. I deleted Instagram after the meeting. All social media. Cold turkey. It was poison, watching other people live the lives I'd never have, stalking the ghost of what I destroyed. Better to just not know. I don't date anymore. Tried once last year. Guy from work named Phil. Divorced, 2 kids he saw every other weekend. Nice enough. We went to dinner. He talked about his ex-wife, I talked about nothing. Second date, he asked about my past. I gave him the sanitized version. He didn't call again. I don't blame him. Some nights I still look at the old photos. Wedding day. Honeymoon. Christmas mornings. Gregory's face in every picture, so full of hope, so certain that loving me was enough. It wasn't enough. Not because he failed. Because I did. I had everything. A man who would have walked through fire for me. Stability. Partnership. The option to build a family, a future, a life that mattered. And I torched it because I was bored. Because Owen made me feel alive for 8 months and I thought that fleeting high was worth more than 6 years of steady love. Gregory has 2 sons now. Henry and Thomas. They're probably 3 years old. Learning to talk in full sentences, asking endless questions, driving Gregory and Iris beautifully crazy. Maybe they're in preschool. Maybe Gregory coaches their soccer team. Maybe Iris packs their lunches with little notes that say "Mommy loves you." I don't know. I'll never know. That door is closed. I saw a young couple arguing in the grocery store last week. She was maybe 25, yelling at her boyfriend in the cereal aisle. "You're so boring. We never do anything exciting." He looked tired. Defeated. The same look Gregory had during our last year of marriage. I wanted to walk over. Wanted to grab her shoulders and say, "Boring means he shows up. Boring means he loves you on your worst days. Boring is him remembering your coffee order and taking out the trash without being asked." Don't confuse stability with stagnation. But I didn't. Not my place. Not my business. She'll learn. Or she won't. I checked out and drove home. That night, I sat on my couch, secondhand, one cushion has a spring that pokes through, and thought about alternate universes. Versions of my life where I made different choices. Where I went to therapy before the affair instead of after the divorce. Where I told Owen no. Where I fought for my marriage instead of abandoning it. In those universes, maybe I'm the one driving the minivan. Maybe I'm packing lunches for school-age kids. Maybe I'm kissing Gregory in parking lots and teaching our sons to ride bikes and posting captions about gratitude that I actually mean. But I don't live in those universes. I live in this one. The one I built with my own hands, brick by bitter brick. Gregory moved on. Found someone who deserved him. Built the life he'd always wanted. He's happy. He has grace, and I'm here. 38 years old. Working a dead-end job that pays just enough to keep me housed and fed. No partner. No kids. No future that looks different from my present. I'm not looking for pity. I don't want anyone to tell me it's not my fault, that Owen manipulated me, that I was a victim of circumstances. I wasn't. I made choices. Every single day of that affair, I chose it. Chose the lies, the cruelty, the destruction. I laughed when I should have fought. Mocked when I should have cherished. Threw away something irreplaceable for something worthless. There's no redemption arc coming. No third act transformation where I meet someone wonderful and learn my lesson and live happily ever after. That's not how this works. This is the lesson. Actions have consequences. Cruelty leaves scars, on the people you hurt and on yourself. You can't undo the past. You can only live with it. Gregory survived me. Thrived, even. I'm surviving too. Just differently. Some people get second chances. Some people get happy endings. I get this, a rented apartment, a minimum wage job, and a library card. I get regret that echoes louder than laughter ever did. I get to walk this path every single day, the one I paved when I was too arrogant to see what I was destroying. Gregory's moved on, and I'm left walking alone. That's the trade I made, and I'll live with it until the day I die. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.